Hello, everyone, and welcome to Balkan Asia Convention. I'm your host, Milan, aka Kronosart, and today we're going to talk about definitely my favorite game, Warframe. And I have two wonderful guests directly from Digital Extreme, their community manager, Rebecca Ford, and their senior community organizer, Megan Everett. Hello, ladies, and thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Zdravo? Zdravo?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, someone Googled it. Someone did their own work.
Well, that's your job, actually, to prepare good.
Very good. Yeah, so I'm Rebecca. I work at Digital Extremes on Warframe.
And I'm Megan, and
okay, so we have 8 questions since we have a limited time for this. So first question, definitely what a lot of people want to know, how was actually Warframe created? How was the idea born to create a game like Warframe?
Oh, this is an age-old idea. The company, Digital Extremes, had the idea for Warframe back in the early 2000s. So think like 2005, very early on. And the idea kind of sat dormant. It was a tech demo. And eventually we released a game called Dark Sector on the Xbox 360, PS3 era gaming. And that game was sort of what Warframe's core idea became. And then many years later, we had the opportunity to do something entirely published and driven by ourselves, which was 2012. We created this Warframe free-to-play animal that became the closed alpha, closed beta, and now 8 years later, here we are.
Okay, so since it's really old game, like 8 years right now, back then it looked very different than now. How hard was that road to actually make a game that looked so basic back then to actually look so massive right now with so many different things you can do in the game, endless hours of grinding, and to actually have a lot of content every few months or big updates like 1 or 2 times a year?
Well, Megan, you saw the game, in its 2013 form. So for you, what do you think has been the biggest change from the team, I guess?
Oh my God. I came to DE around the Necros update, which I think was update 7. I feel like that stands out to me. Am I correct?
No, update 7 was like Banshee.
Or maybe update 9?
9. Update 9 is correct.
9 or 7. Yeah, so I came around then, and it definitely was, even at that time, looked and felt completely different from where it was day one. And I know Reb has been there since day one, so she would know 100% how it felt and looked much different. But it's insane to me. We're here, like you said, 7, 8 years later, and it looks the way it does. And obviously we only want it to keep looking better. So obviously as new technology comes out and, our team grows, our talent and our skills grow, the game kind of evolves around that. And I mean, this is Steve Sinclair's brainchild. So as his thoughts go wild, the game develops into kind of what he wants it to be and what the team wants it to be. And it really has it's a whole different game. If you were to show me Warframe day one, I know right now, like, people are kind of sending us screenshots of Warframe when it was back in 2013. And it just looks like a really low tier, very pixelated game. I know but that's what it was. And like, that was its first form. And now it's just this insane free-to-play game that I think we're all very, very proud of.
Yes, right now you actually have a free-to-play game that can go shoulder to shoulder with some AAA $40 plus games that you actually, after 8 years of work, you got better games than some you actually need to pay for.
Yeah, you're about to be blown away with some graphical improvements too. So you just wait for TennoCon.
Is that actually happening?
TennoCon?
Yes.
August 1st. Don't miss it. 9
days away. 9. We're under the double digits.
Yeah, it's digital only though.
Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, so where do you actually get ideas to create new content, new frames, their abilities?
Oh man, everywhere you can imagine. Some sound ideas come from eating food, and some character ideas come from anything from watching our own children play for a power idea, or anything from just being really inspired from a power fantasy we had growing up. The next major part of Warframe's life is going to be announced on August 1st, and that idea came from a very squeamish area. So I think you're in for a bit of a grotesque treat with what's to come.
Ooh, nice, nice. Since you actually mentioned TennoCon, how did you actually create one? So it's just a convention for one game. How it actually came to that?
Reb, I think you were definitely the one to, I can remember having a conversation with you and you're like, I hope one day we can do like our own convention. And like in that moment, it was like, yeah, that'd be very cool, but that's such a far off dream. Like who's going to come to London, Ontario, Canada to hang out with us, weird Canadians, for what, like you said, exactly one game. There's not, there's a booth here for this game or this game. It's one game, an entire building. Like, I don't know, Reb, where was your head at?
Well, we had done a lot of event traveling. So we had gone to Gamescom, we had gone to PAX, and all these stories and journeys we created, it really felt like everyone would converge in one spot for Warframe to celebrate it. And we just took a risk. We rented out a convention center and hoped people would show up, and they did. So we really wanted everyone to come together in one place dedicated for Warframe. And for 4 years, we've been doing that. This would have been our 5th TennoCon. It is digital only this year, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, and it's always been a challenge to not upstage ourselves, but you want people to be impressed when they come to London, Ontario. Like that's not a normal trip someone takes. So you want them to have a great time. So each year when it was a physical event, you try to do what you can with the space. So we've been doing it out of the exact same building, the London Convention Center. And it's like, okay, we have the exact same amount of space as we had the year before and the year before. How do we make this cooler than it was last year? So it's only gotten bigger in terms of what we try to give the audience and what we try to do. And I think my favorite thing, because we've been watching back videos of old TennoCons, trying to get inspired for the one this year. And you look at even like TennoCon the first year when we did Tenno Live, how small of a part of the room it was. And then each year it was like, okay, we need more seating in that. So it would grow. And then last year it was just like the entire ballroom was just like, move the walls, move this. Like we need all the room we can. And who knows what this year would have been like, but I can't wait for when we can actually do a physical one again.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically you're doing with TennoCon same thing you're doing with the game. You're trying to make it better and better and bigger and bigger.
Exactly.
And I definitely have moments where I'm like, for TennoCon, we work on for Tenno Live. I always think like, oh, we can't top ourselves from last year. Oh, we can't top Plains of Eidolon. And we can't top this. And then I'm pleasantly surprised every time that I'm like, when I see the behind the scenes as to what we're doing, I have a little bit of like, can we pull this off? I don't think so. And then we do, and it's very exciting. So this year's going to be good.
One of the things I wanted to know is what is your favorite mission types, frames, and weapons that you like to use in game?
Ooh.
Gotta love disruption. I'm big on disruption. It gets my adrenaline going. I love the time sensitivity. Frame-wise, hard to go against Mesa and Mirage right now. Megan, where are you at with missions and frames?
Right now, I am an Inaros Prime girl, and he just came out, so I'm living my best life. I would say if I had like a top squad to pick from, it'd be, Valkyr Prime, Inaros or Inaros Prime. I do love Nova Prime and Nova, but I was gonna say Disruption too, because it's also like it's so different, and it's very great. Yeah, it's very fast paced, and like when I hear that beeping of the Demolist or whatever getting closer, I'm like my anxiety, but like in the best way possible. Either that or I do love just like a classic capture. Like I love speed running. So if I can do something super fast and like right, then I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. So like trying to do a capture and like there's the Nightwave mission where it's like under a minute. I'm like, yes, that's for me. That's my goal.
I agree. I love a good speed mission. And I think, you know, whatever weapons I bring really depends on like what mood I'm in a lot of ways. I've been using a lot of the new stuff we released with Deadlock Protocol because I love the sound design on the Stalta in particular. So that's kind of been my go-to.
Yeah, I'm kind of known for not really changing up my weapons. I just have like my go-to. Right now, it is I use the Seti Lacera, which was from the Operation Scarlet Spear. That's my favorite melee. I have a kick gun for my secondary, and my primary is
Archiplasmor.
No, it's not Archiplasmor.
No. Okay.
It's oh my god, something prime, super fast.
Baza.
Baza Prime. That's it. That's my face.
Okay, so one thing that everyone who plays Warframe wants to know is how fun is to actually play as a stalker?
Oh, there is nothing better. There is nothing better.
The like memories and moments that we've been able to have, like when we do it on prime time or a dev stream that come from playing the Stalker are just like top tier moments for me in terms of like my 7 years of working at DE. Like they're just so funny. Like the people that don't expect it and the other people that do are like, oh, here comes Rev or here comes Meg or whoever it is. They're just like, they're ready for you. And I mean, 9 out of 10 times I always die because I'm not good as the Stalker.
Well, Stalker can't kill in an Aros. Like it just can't happen.
No, and so people know that. Like the ones that want us to join their mission, they're like, all right, let's bring a Titania. We'll be tiny and no one will be able to aim at us. Or yeah, let's be a Naros or just like tanks. And you're like, well, this is not good for me.
Okay, since you're working in Warframe, you're working for the game. How fun is to actually play the game every day for 7-8 years?
I have more hours in Warframe than any other game I own by a lot. I would say I don't play every day. I play every week at least 3 times. I think for me, I play in big batches throughout the week, but every day I play for work. So say my work day ends, maybe I won't play on a Monday, but I'll definitely play on a Tuesday and a Thursday. It's super important for people to realize that we do play our own game and love it, and we play it at our own paces. So that's kind of at least my version of my Warframe playstyle. Yeah,
it definitely differs, depending on what we're doing behind the scenes. Always near TennoCon, I don't get many public hours in. I try and get in, do my night waves, do my alerts, but like Rev said, it's not every day that I can log in. And I do try to kind of take a break from playing really any video game outside of work over the weekend. I think it's really important to do that if you do work on a video game every single day. But when I do play it, I do enjoy it. I get excited I know Nightwave right now for me, it's kind of a slow burn for me. And I'm only mastery rank 20. Like you can tell. Like it's not. I know. It's not a secret or whatever that clearly I haven't put as much time as Rev or someone into it, but I'm getting there. It's just my way of playing is different than everyone else's.
And there's no right or wrong way to play. People need to play it at their own pace, their own time. That's how that's what we believe firmly.
Absolutely.
One of the best things in Warframe is actually the community. So how did you manage to actually create community that will help every new player, welcome every new player? They're always trying to help each other.
I'm glad to hear that to this day. I'm glad that's the case. I think this is a consequence of everything in Warframe feeling just one step into the communal unknown. There's nothing really familiar about the game when you first start playing it. It's weird, fast-paced. The art looks like nothing you've ever played before. It's kind of magical, but very sci-fi. And every mission has you working with people. It's strictly cooperative. you can opt into PvP if you want, but that strict cooperation is really this heart and soul of why people are so helpful, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely also not to say that, we get feedback and criticism as much as any other game developer, I think. We're a free-to-play game. We're, trying to keep alive in this
Yep.
industry and this environment for, 8-7 years. And our community is a huge part of that. We've always said that, our game has grown and evolved because of the community, because of their feedback, and we try to obviously keep it that way. But I love the sense of as soon as I log in, people are talking. We just implemented a new kind of Q&A chat channel for when people start Warframe. They're in this chat channel that's strictly for answering questions and helping. It's completely separate from Region, and we've seen, great success with that. So it's definitely something that we've continually worked on. How can we grow our community in terms of it being a welcoming environment when they first get in there, because like Reb said, it's a magical sci-fi experience, but it can also be a little bit overwhelming because there's so much going on, there's so much to look at, and it's like, where do I start? So continued process, of course, but our community has definitely always been there to help out someone new.
What can we expect from the updates in the near future? Let's say like maybe next 6 months or something, if you can say anything.
Anything.
Funny, Megan. Funny. That was very good. Well, all I have to say on that is we are about to reveal something called the Heart of Deimos, and it will be our next major update, and it will be massive.
Okay, that's all the time I'm gonna take from you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to play, you can go down below and check the link of the Warframe site. Thank you for joining me today again, and see you next time, guys.
Hvala vam.
Thank you for watching us, guys, and enjoy playing Warframe, because remember, ninjas play free.